In today's video, we're going to be taking apart a Reebok sneaker that has that classic Zig technology on its outsole and midsole, but it's a little bit different from any Zig technology Reebok sneaker that I've ever seen before. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be walking through all the different elements, new and old, on the Reebok Zig Kinetica. This is the Talking About It 23 sneaker channel. Talking About It 23 sneaker channel des. Mainichi Upsuno no de, Mainichi Mita Design. Every single day I bring you content from Tokyo, Japan about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news and sneaker reviews, like every day, daily sneaker content. It's absolutely the hardest thing I've ever had to do is daily sneaker content from Tokyo, Japan, but I just can't stop doing it and I love to do it, so I'm going to keep on doing it. And one of my favorite parts of that is the butter movement. We have a thing called the butter movement going on. If you don't know what that is, there'll be more information at the end of the video about that. I like to do a little bit at the start of the video where I talk about a game that we're playing. Don't want to waste time explaining it, so bang, there's a link to that game so you can understand how the game works. It's the rules of the game, and basically I just drop hints about a sneaker for 5 days in a row, and then on the 6th day you guys get to see in-hand shots of one of the rarest sneakers in the world. Today is day 2, and the hint is multiple pairs. So this is Shoe Butter, who's got $1 million sneaker collection. I might as well put a link bang to that $1 million sneaker collection right there. He's got $1 million sneaker collection. He shares with us one shoe a week, and he has multiple pairs of one of the rarest shoes like ever, one of the most highly sought after sneakers of all time, and that's what he's given us today. And every week he does that for us, and it'll be a different shoe next week. So if you can work out from these hints which shoe it is, drop a comment down below. But for now we have to get away from that. I don't like to spend too much time on that at the start of the video because you guys are here to talk about Reeboks and to talk about the Reebok Zig Kinetica, and I'm going to mash these two things together right now, this Reebok sneakers and this shoe butter movement thing. Now, if you don't know this, if you don't know who Shoe Butter is and you're here for the Reebok sneaker, I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to put a link in a second up here, which I recommend you go to. I'm telling you to leave my video, which is unbelievable in YouTuber terms. You shouldn't leave the video, but I'm asking you to go to one of my other videos. But there's a video that Shoe Butter worked up with me of, now it's one of the rarest pairs of Reeboks of all time. But he's not just got one colorway, he's got 4. There are only 50 of each of these sneakers made, and he has all 4 of them. 50 of this one, 50 of this one, 50 of this one, 50 of this one, and he's got one of each of those, and he shared it with us last week. It's one of the rarest colorways in Reebok land. And if you're here for Reebok sneakers, if that's what you're interested in, you definitely need to check out that sneaker. So I'll put that link bang right there to that video about 4 of the rarest sneakers of all time, and hopefully you'll enjoy that. You might not even be listening to me anymore because you've already clicked that and gone away to have a look at that, because it is an epic thing to behold, to see some of the rarest sneakers in the world and some of the rarest sneakers, Reebok sneakers, ever made. Now, we're going to get into the sneaker real soon, but first, this is a YouTube channel, and YouTube channels need subscribers like you. Yes, you watching at home. If you haven't subscribed already, please do hit that subscribe button down below, because it makes a massive difference to the channel. So please do hit that subscribe button down below, because it will help tremendously. And as I am here in Tokyo, Japan, I do say at the start of every single one of my videos, please do hit that Toroku button down below. Toroku o click suru to tasukaru node, zehi Toroku o susume shimasu. And the like button, ine mo click suru to tasukaru node. So with all that out of the way, let's get into this sneaker today and have a look at this Reebok Zig Kinetica sneaker. Now, there's a lot going on with this guy, and a lot that I'm kind of questionable about. Yes or no, is this a cool sneaker, isn't it? Have they kind of brought the technology forward, or have they taken a backward step? And all in all, for me, I personally think, looking at the entire sneaker, there are more backward steps than there are progressions. So I think it's actually in total a backward step. Now the Reebok enthusiasts out there, the Zig technology enthusiasts out there, might be like shouting at the TV screen right now, or the computer screen, or the phone screen, or the device screen right now, and saying, "What are you talking about, you fool?" And they might be saying that, and that's fine, I don't mind. But If you are saying that, hit me up with a comment down below and explain your thinking. One of the major elements of my channel is the communication between me and you. And when people drop me a comment, I usually talk to them about it. I try to reply to every comment down below, so definitely hit me up with a comment if you can. And the comments that get the most dialogue between me and you are the ones where you explain your opinion. And if it's different from mine, I explain my opinion. We have a dialogue. It's one of the things that surprised me about YouTube. I thought YouTube would all be monologue, but I didn't realize there was going to be community elements and sort of dialogue, and I appreciate that. So if you have a difference of opinion, please let me know in the comments down below. If you think this is a fire shoe, whereas I think it's actually a step backwards, let me know why and we'll mash it up in the comments down below. But what I'm going to do for you today is actually explain why I think it's a step backwards. So first and foremost, this is personal. And the personal thing is that mid-foot strap. I have never been a fan of the mid-foot strap on sneakers. I reviewed another Reebok actually, so I might as well put a link to it up here. Ta-ding! I reviewed the Reebok Boost, Adidas Boost technology mashup, because it was the Instapumps, the Reebok Instapumps, which had the Adidas Boost technology on the midsole instead of the regular Reebok midsole technology. And I reviewed that a few weeks ago, probably more than that now, maybe a couple of months ago. But they've only started to drop recently, so that video is kind of a slow burner for me, if you like. And that has a midfoot strap on it. Now the good thing about that is that because the midsole is in two sections on the Instapumps, then the strap goes through that, that midsection, and it doesn't get damaged by wear and tear from contact with the pavement, the sidewalk, stuff like that. But it still looks silly. And I also didn't like it. What was that pack called? It was On Air, I think. Was it the On Air Nike pack, which had 6 different cities, including Tokyo in there. One of the cities was Paris, and for Paris they had a Vapor Max, and that also had a midfoot strap on it. I'm just not a fan. I'm just not a fan of the midfoot strap. I've not seen it done in a way that I think is anything other than just an accessory on the sneaker, rather than something that complements the design or it has a purpose on there. And for that reason, I don't really like it. I think it just looks kind of silly. Not found a sneaker yet that the midfoot strap has sort of got me going on. So in the case of these guys, these Reebok Zig Kinetics, it's a no for me as far as the midfoot strap goes. Now, looking at the colorway as a whole, it's pretty much a white, black, and greys colorway. There is a little hint of color in a sort of purpley hit around about the top line, but basically it's black, white, and greys sort of tones. And no, it's not a Sakai waffle or a Sakai blazer. I'm sure I've put some pictures behind me here. I don't know if I have any more links to put a link up here. I think I might have run out because I've talked about links too much. It was interesting for me with those Sakai waffles and Sakai blazers. I thought that they would do better than the colourful versions that had come out earlier, but from what I'm seeing, the colourful versions that came out earlier, of which I have a pair of the blazers, are the old, sort of OG guys are still reselling at a higher price than the latest versions. So, but these guys, these Reeboks with their black, white, and grey sort of mix up of the colours there, reminded me a little bit of those waffles and those blazers and stuff like that. So, as a total though, colourway wise, yeah, it's an alright sneaker. I don't really have too much of a problem with the colour blocking on it, and that little sort of almost hint of colour up around the top line does give it a little bit more character and a bit more sort of definition to it than anything else. But on the upper, the last thing to talk about in the upper really is the sort of small piece of lateral side branding on there where it says Reebok with the Reebok brand underneath in white on the back, black background, and it's quite discreet, and I like discretion in my sneakers. I like little tiny little hints at something rather than a sort of big in-your-face branding, so I kind of like that little bit of branding on the side there. But it's taken our eyes downwards to the main feature of the sneaker, which is that Zig technology. Now, hopefully I've put a picture behind me here of something that has a bit more, let's go with definition for this. So if you have a look at the outsole and the midsole on this shoe behind me here, this Reebok Zig shoe, you'll see that kind of loopy technology on there. And that's kind of gone on these Zig Kinetics. So if you look at the midsole now on the sneaker that's under review today, you can see that they've maintained the motif of that kind of loopy up-down by alternating the cuts on the midsole to be your lower, upper, lower, upper, lower, upper. And you can see that throughout the midsole that's behind me right here. But if you look through that and into the midsole within the sneaker, it doesn't look like it actually has that wavy technology. It looks like a solid midsole, and all they've done is the cover that's on the outside of that, they've gone with that alternating cut up and down, top and bottom to give that zig effect. And that's one of the things I don't like about the sneaker. Now, I might be wrong on this. Sometimes I am wrong. It does happen. And I don't mind that. I don't have a problem with being wrong, and I do like it when people hit me up with a comment down below about that. But I might be wrong in saying that the midsole itself, within the sort of outside kind of casing, the midsole itself is solid, whereas in previous iterations you've had that very clear construct of the loopy effect. And if I'm wrong about that, if the midsole inside is actually more complicated than just a solid block, please do let me know in the comments down below. But to me, this is just superficial. This is window dressing. This is a facade. This is just the outside case with that kind of up-down loopy effect on it, but the interior is not actually that technology. So I think the Reebok enthusiasts, I think the Zig technology enthusiasts are going to look at this and be like, actually, I don't think so. I think this is just a regular sneaker. It's a bit gimmicky to just put those cuts high and low and call that Zig. So to me, I'm not really feeling the Zig side of these guys. I don't think that is actually what we've got here. And then going even further down and taking a look at the outsole, it's a bit, it's a bit tacky. To me, bit of an afterthought, just a sort of a throwaway outsole. There's not really much thought in that, in my opinion. I don't really think there's much character about this outsole, and it's a bit disappointing since the Zig technology tends to lean heavily on the midsole and the outsole, and in the case of this sneaker, I'm not seeing that midsole and outsole kind of pop that I would expect to see from a Reebok Zig sneaker. So the Reebok Zig Kinetic is not a shoe that I'm particularly finding a lot of heat with, and that's why, as I said at the top of this video, I think there are more regressions than there are progressions for me. But you might have a difference of opinion, which I'd love to hear about in the comments down below, so please do that. And now, I forgot to say something, and it's absolutely vital. And I know with videos, the longer a video goes on, the less people watch. And, people cut away. They've seen what they wanted to see, or they've seen something on the side and they want to go click on that. So I know that by forgetting to say this, I'm doing my friend a disservice, and I apologize for that, my friend. But people who are watching right now have watched for a long time, and they're more likely to pay attention. So if you're watching right now, and I'm actually gonna sacrifice one of my links for this. And that might mean earlier in this video I pointed up here and there was no link to give, and my fingers pointing at midair, because I definitely want to point up there and give a shout out to this person right now, because for many reasons. Number one, he's a military serviceman, and he's overseas and away from his family doing an honourable thing. Now, I myself am not particularly conflict orientated. I'm much more about resolution, shall we say, but I do understand the need for military and servicemen and people to protect our ways of life and our ways of life and our rights, and that's what this guy's doing. So first and foremost, he's out there and he's honorably serving his country overseas as well, which is harder to be away from your family. Two, he's a sneaker guy. And this is a sneaker channel. If you're watching my content, then surely, a sneaker guy, you can go for that and see a reason to go support this guy. Three, in hand every single video. Absolutely what I would love for my channel, and something that I'm working towards. He's already there, sneakers in hand every single video, and it's quite incredible to watch that. And four, he's almost at 1,000 subscribers, and I would absolutely love it if people from my channel could go over to his channel, subscribe to his channel, and drop a comment down below and tell him Tokyo Butter 23 sent me to your channel. I'm here to support and get you to 1,000 subscribers. So I should have said this a lot earlier in the video, and I apologize to my buddy for that, for not doing that. His name's Shoes Up, Sleeves Down, as in yay to shoes and no to sleeves. So he's always wearing like tank tops and stuff because he's ripped. He's absolutely ripped. and he can do that. If I did that, you guys would switch off in a heartbeat. But he's ripped, so that's maybe reason 5 to go check out his channel. But I should have done this earlier in the video and shouted out his channel, and maybe that would have got more people aware of who he is and where he is and what he's doing. Hopefully, though, by doing it this thoroughly, the people who are watching this are like, yes, okay, I've got it. I understand what you're talking about, Butter. Show me the link. I'm going to his channel right now. So the last thing I'm going to do on today's video, right before I say what I say at the end of every single video, is I'm going to put a link up here to my good friend, a great sneaker YouTuber, shoe tuber, definitely a channel that I would like you guys out there to support. So please do show some love for this guy right here, shoes up, sleeves down, and definitely head him up with a comment that says I'm here from Tokyo Butter 23. With that being said, it's time to sign off, and thank you guys for checking out my content as I do every single day. And because I do this every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.